Welcome to today's news. You are watching Millennium News Hour and I am Tanzeeba Noreen. Here are the latest trending news stories from across the globe. Let's dive into today's top headlines. Democrats hold pivotal meetings on Biden as divisions deepen after Trump debate. White House releases more details on Biden's health after press room shouting match. Hunter Biden ends bid for gun retrial after prosecutors explain appeal process. Trump holds a rally in Florida as Running Mate suspense builds. White House's Sullivan outlines plans to strengthen NATO support for Ukraine. James Inhofe, former Republican senator who called climate change a hoax, dies aged 89. Beryl leaves millions without power and air conditioning as dangerous heat takes aim at Texas. Leaders head to NATO summit amid Biden doubts and concern for Ukraine. India's Modi tells Putin that heart bleeds over deaths of children in war. Alice Munro's daughter says a stepfather abused her but late author stood by him. Novak Djokovic gets into it with Wimbledon fans after reaching the quarterfinals. And Vinicius apologizes after Brazil's early Copa exit. You are listening to Headlines Now News in detail. House Democrats met at their party headquarters in Washington on Tuesday for a crucial closed-door meeting. Members debated whether to support President Joe Biden's re-election or ask him to withdraw from the race. Lawmakers couldn't use their phones during the meeting, the first full caucus gathering since Biden's poor debate against former President Donald Trump in June sparked a crisis. Many refused to talk to reporters afterward. "I promised I wouldn't discuss it," said Representative Mike Quigley. Representative Steve Cohen said Democrats weren't even in the same book. He mentioned some members wanted Biden to withdraw. Biden's weak debate performance worried Democrats, prompting some top donors and allies to urge him to drop out. At least 8 House Democrats have called for this. Representative Jerry Nadler, who had also suggested Biden step aside, now supports him. "I'm fully supportive of him. It's essential he wins," Nadler said. But Representative Lori Trahan voiced concerns. She said many Biden voters in Massachusetts doubted his ability to beat Trump. "President Biden must urgently restore Americans' confidence so we win in November," Trahan stated. The White House clarified on Monday that President Joe Biden has not seen a neurologist outside of his annual physicals. This came after questions arose about why a Parkinson's disease specialist visited the White House 8 times in recent months. White House physician Kevin O'Connor explained in a letter that the specialist, Kevin Kennard, has been a neurology consultant for the White House since 2012. Kennard visits multiple times a year due to his extensive expertise, not because he specializes in movement disorders. Dr. Kennard has been seeing patients at the White House for a dozen years, O'Connor wrote. He emphasized Kennard's broad training and reputation in the military health system. Kennard has also conducted Biden's 3 annual physicals since he became president. Biden's last medical exam in February showed no signs of neurological disorders like stroke, multiple sclerosis, or Parkinson's, O'Connor stated. The latter followed speculation about Biden's cognitive abilities after his poor performance in a debate with Donald Trump in Atlanta. The letter was released after Press Secretary Karen Jean-Pierre clashed with reporters asking for respect and not confirming Kennedy's name despite it being reported widely. Hunter Biden withdrew his request for a new trial on federal gun charges after prosecutors called it a laughable tale and said it was based on a misunderstanding. Hunter, the son of President Joe Biden, became the first child of a sitting president to be convicted of a felony on June 11. He was found guilty on all counts related to lying about his illegal drug use when buying a handgun in 2018. His lawyers asked for a new trial, claiming the Third U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Philadelphia hadn't given the trial court the proper permission to proceed. Federal prosecutors said on Monday that Hunter Biden's argument had no basis, noting the denial of his appeal was clearly stamped as a certified order issued in lieu of mandate. They described his claims as a laughable tale of the mystery of the missing mandates. Hunter Biden's lawyers withdrew their request for a new trial after the special counsel explained the Third Circuit's procedure. Hunter has denied any wrongdoing and plans to appeal the conviction. He faces up to 25 years in prison but may not be incarcerated due to his lack of prior criminal record. He also faces a trial on federal tax charges in September. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump held a campaign rally at his golf club near Miami on Tuesday, with just days left before he must select a running mate for the party's national convention next week. Tuesday's event in Doral, Florida was followed by a rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday. Both events were closely watched for hints or announcements about Trump's vice presidential pick. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance and Florida Senator Marco Rubio were leading contenders, with North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum also in the mix, sources told media. The decision came amid turmoil for Democrats after President Joe Biden's poor debate performance against Trump on June 27, prompting calls for a younger nominee. In an interview with Fox News host Sean Hannity, Trump was asked about Rubio, Vance, Burgum, and South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. Absolutely, they are under consideration, Trump responded, adding that he wanted to see how the Democratic confusion played out. He said he would likely decide a little before or during the Republican National Convention starting on July 15. At the Doral rally, Trump blamed Biden for inflation and criticized his immigration policies, highlighting cases of violent crimes committed by illegal migrants. Republican Operative Ford O'Connell said Trump would let Democratic disarray and pressure on Biden dominate media coverage rather than announce his vice president choice at Doral. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your fist. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan announced on Tuesday a series of measures to bolster U.S. and NATO support for Ukraine as NATO leaders convened in Washington for a summit. Sullivan detailed plans for NATO to establish a new military command in Germany, headed by a three-star general, to train and equip Ukrainian troops. Additionally, NATO will appoint a senior representative in Kiev to deepen Ukraine's ties with the alliance. Sullivan emphasized NATO's steadfast commitment to stand by Ukraine against Russian aggression in the long term. Putin cannot divide us, he cannot outlast us, he cannot weaken us. Ukraine, not Russia, will prevail, Sullivan declared at a defense industry conference hosted by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. These measures come amidst ongoing tensions between Ukraine and Russia, with NATO reaffirming its support for Ukraine's sovereignty and security. Former Republican Senator James Inhofe, known for his climate change denial and provocative stunts like bringing a snowball to the Senate floor, passed away at 89 on Tuesday. Inhofe, who represented Oklahoma from 1994 until his resignation due to COVID-19 effects in January 2023, was a staunch conservative. He famously called climate change the greatest hoax and labeled the Environmental Protection Agency as a Gestapo bureaucracy. His controversial actions included opposing greenhouse gas emission caps and advocating for tax breaks for the oil and gas industry. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell praised Inhofe's leadership, highlighting his impact on infrastructure, energy policies, and national security. McConnell noted Inhofe's role in modernizing the military and promoting American energy independence. Inhofe's career was marked by polarizing views on climate science, exemplified by his snowball stunt in 2015, where he used a snowball to dispute global warming. Despite criticism, Inhofe remained a steadfast voice in conservative circles, influencing policy debates on environmental issues and energy production. Dangerous heat is impacting Southeast Texas on Tuesday following Beryl, which left over 2 million utility customers without power, reports the National Weather Service. After making landfall Monday as a Category 1 hurricane, Beryl triggered heat advisories across much of the Texas coast, including Houston and Corpus Christi. High temperatures combined with widespread power outages could lead to heat-related illnesses, warned the Houston Weather Service office. Temperatures are expected to reach the lower 90s, with heat index values up to 106 degrees, making conditions feel hotter due to humidity. Residents are urged to stay hydrated and limit outdoor activities, particularly while cleaning up storm damage left by Beryl. As of Tuesday morning, 2.25 million utility customers in Texas remain without power, according to poweroutage.us. Crews from CentralPoint Energy are actively restoring power, prioritizing areas with vulnerable populations like senior citizen centers, as noted by Acting Governor Dan Patrick. Cooling centers have been opened in cities along the coast to provide relief from the heat, supported by efforts from FEMA Region 6 in Denton to help residents cope with the ongoing heat wave. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your fist. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for global updates. World leaders gathered in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday for a two-day NATO summit focusing on bolstering military support for Ukraine amid concerns about President Joe Biden's mental acuity. Among those attending were Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky. The summit addressed escalating tensions as Russia threatened increased missile strikes on Ukraine, which had already claimed lives ahead of the meeting. Leaders at the summit agreed on enhanced military aid for Ukraine, including additional Patriot air defense systems and progress on supplying F-16 fighters to help Ukraine defend against Russian attacks. Zelensky emphasized Ukraine's need for security guarantees, including weapons and financial support. NATO officials warned of potential further Russian missile barrages to divert attention from the summit's decisions. The summit reaffirmed Ukraine's path towards NATO membership as irreversible, but no immediate progress was expected due to concerns over escalating conflict with Russia. Leaders aimed to avoid contentious debates, recalling Zelensky's frustrations at the previous summit. The ongoing conflict included tragic bombings in Kiev, including a children's hospital hit by a Russian missile, further underscoring the urgency of NATO's discussions. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed deep concern to Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday over the tragic death of innocent children in a deadly strike on a children's hospital in Kiev, Ukraine. The comments came during a summit aimed at strengthening ties between India and Russia, where both sides outlined plans for enhanced cooperation across 9 key sectors, including nuclear energy, medicine, and trade. Modi's emotive remarks, rare for a leader seen as an ally of Russia, highlighted the humanitarian toll of the conflict. He emphasized that any loss of life, especially among innocent children, was deeply painful and distressing to humanity. Ukraine reported recovering fragments of a Russian missile at the hospital hit during a series of Russian attacks that claimed 44 lives across Ukraine, including children. Russia claimed it was a Ukrainian anti-missile system that struck the hospital. Despite India's deepening economic and energy ties with Russia amid Western sanctions, Modi's comments underscored a delicate balance in India's foreign policy stance on the Ukraine conflict. The summit also discussed expanding energy partnerships, including potential deals with leading Russian oil companies like Rosneft and exploring increased coal sales to India. Alice Munro's daughter, Andrea Robin Skinner, revealed in the Toronto Star that she was sexually abused as a child by her stepfather, Gerald Fremlin, while her mother, the acclaimed writer Alice Munro, remained with him despite being informed of the abuse. Skinner detailed how the abuse started when she was 9 years old during a visit to her mother in Ontario in 1976. She described Munro's reaction to the abuse as dismissive, akin to discovering infidelity. Skinner later returned to Fremlin and stayed with him until his death in 2013, leading to estrangement from her mother, who passed away earlier this year at 92. Alice Munro, celebrated for her literary achievements, including the Nobel Prize for Literature, portrayed the lives of ordinary women in her renowned short stories. Munro's books in Victoria, BC, expressed support for Skinner, acknowledging the impact on Munro's legacy. The revelations have sparked reflection on Munro's life and work, with further responses awaited from her publisher. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 18,048.58. The NYSE Composite is decreased by 39.29 points or 0.22%. Tokyo stock close price is 41,580.17. The Nikkei 225 index is increased by 799.47 points or 1.96%. Shanghai stock close price is 2,959.37. The Shanghai index is increased by 36.92 points or 1.26%. Hong Kong stock close price is 17,523.23. The Hang Seng index is decreased by 0.83 points or 0.00%. Bombay stock close price is 80,351.64. The Sensex index is increased by 391.26 points or 0.49%. Let's have a look on today's sports stories. Novak Djokovic expressed frustration after his Wimbledon match against Holger Rune, where he felt some spectators were booing him instead of cheering for his opponent. Despite his clear victory, Djokovic addressed the crowd during his post-match interview, thanking respectful fans while sharply criticizing those he believed disrespected him. To all the fans that showed respect and stayed tonight, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Djokovic said, emphasizing his gratitude. However, he didn't hold back in addressing those who he felt were taunting him, and to all those people that have chosen to disrespect the player, in this case, me. Have a good night, he remarked, elongating the word good to mock the booing. The interviewer attempted to downplay Djokovic's perception, suggesting the crowd might have been supporting Rune instead. Djokovic, with over 2 decades of professional tennis experience, stood firm, asserting he understood the crowd's intentions and the gamesmanship involved. Despite the incident, Djokovic focused on appreciating respectful fans who love tennis and value players' efforts on the court. Brazilian forward Vinicius Jr. apologized to fans on Tuesday after missing their Copa America quarter-final due to suspension. The 23-year-old Real Madrid player was sidelined for accumulating yellow cards as Brazil lost to Uruguay in a penalty shootout, exiting the tournament after a goalless draw. Brazil's performance in the Copa had been lackluster, with only 1 win against Paraguay and 2 draws in the group stage. Vinicius expressed regret on Instagram, acknowledging his responsibility for the suspension. I received 2 avoidable yellow cards and had to watch our elimination from the sidelines. I apologize for my mistakes. Despite the disappointment, he remains optimistic about Brazil's future, stating, "My national team career is just beginning. With my teammates, we will work to restore Brazil to its rightful place at the top. We will bounce back." Vinicius, who had a successful season with Real Madrid, scoring 5 goals in 34 games for Brazil since his debut in 2019, reassured fans of his commitment. "I love you all, and together we move forward." Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. Democrats hold pivotal meetings on Biden as divisions deepen after Trump debate. White House releases more details on Biden's health after press room shouting match. Hunter Biden ends bid for gun retrial after prosecutors explain appeal process. Trump holds a rally in Florida as running mate suspense builds. White House's Sullivan outlines plans to strengthen NATO support for Ukraine. James Inhofe, former Republican senator who called climate change a hoax, dies aged 89. Beryl leaves millions without power and air conditioning as dangerous heat takes aim at Texas. Leaders head to NATO summit amid Biden doubts and concern for Ukraine. India's Modi tells Putin that heart bleeds over deaths of children in war. Alice Munro's daughter says stepfather abused her but late author stood by him. Novak Djokovic gets into it with Wimbledon fans after reaching the quarterfinals. And Vinicius apologizes after Brazil's early Copa exit. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our websites. Our website addresses are www.millenniumnews24.com and www.millenniumtv24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.